Okay, so we'll see, guys, there is differences of DHCP and other things. So what is DHCP? Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. Port number 6768. Port number 6768. DHCP server assign IP address to the clients automatically. DHCP server assign IP address to the clients automatically. Meaning is you have a DHCP server and you have a DHCP client. Client does not mean any new client here it is. Okay, no special client it is. It's a regular device. So here it is. I have a computer. So what it happened? DHCP server assign an IP address to the client. Okay. So how do you know? Is how do you know how you become a client first of all? Okay. So in your network adapter settings, if you choose this option, like you go to your adapters, open properties. Okay. Open your adapter. Go to properties. Otherwise, I will open. Then what happen? So very simple. Go to control panel. Directly also you can go, but I will tell from the control panel. Control panel, network and sharing center. Network and sharing center in the large icons. Network and sharing center. Okay. Change adapter settings. Change adapter settings. There you will see your adapters. Here you will see your adapters. This is my VMnet2, my Wi-Fi, VMnet1, my cable LAN adapter. It is Ethernet. Okay, this is my virtual host only network. So here it is VMware. So here it is VMnet2. I'm showing how to assign IP address, manual or a automatic part. So I open, double click, or you can go to status, or you can go directly properties. But I'm open like this. So you can see this is the properties. Before that one, I'm going to details, guys. This is DHCP enabled. No. DHCP enabled. No. So I will put only highlight the marking, but okay. It is DHCP enabled. No means it is a manual IP address. It is a manual IP address. Okay, DHCP enabled. No means it is manual IP address. Now I want to assign an IP address manually, but it already manual IP address is there. So go to the properties. Go to the properties. See this IPv4 Internet Protocol version 4, IPv4 TCP/IP version 4 properties. There you can see use the following IP address means you are assigning an IP address manually. Okay, you are assigning IP address manually. Maybe you want to assign it again in manually, simple, like you clear it like this, do like this, you'll get it clear. I'm assigning an IP address 172.17.0.33, something I put it. So assign an IP address manually like this. Okay. Now, no, I don't want manual IP. I want to get an IP address from DHCP. I want to get IP address from DHCP. So properties, then change it to obtain IP address automatically. Change it to obtain IP address automatically. Okay, see it is obtain IP address automatically means you assign an IP address. You want an IP address from DHCP server. Okay, now this is DHCP server. This is DHCP client. DHCP client means you have to go to your network adapter, go to properties. In properties, go to Internet Protocol version 4 IPv4, then properties. Then this window will open and select obtain IP address automatically. Then click OK, OK, close kind of stuff. So your adapter means your PC will try to get a IP from DHCP server. So it will ask DHCP server, I want an IP address, then we will get an IP address. Okay, so that is the assigning manual and getting automatic. So I put it in an automatic mode, but so you see DHCP enable yes means automatic. So you will get an IP address from DHCP server, but we don't have any DHCP server connected to it. I do some magic here and don't worry about it. This is the VMware workstation and I showed that adapter that is a VMnet2 is belongs to this VMware workstation only, means VMware application only. So VMnet2. Okay. So I want to control it from here. Just wait, so you can see. I'll change the settings for this VMnet2. The DHCP enable yes is there. You should get an IP address from there. But why it is not here? See, it is starting IP, ending IP, subnet mask, max release is there. It is enabled. DHCP is enabled. This is disabled. This is enabled. So we'll see. So why it is not getting an IP? Of course, there is a reason in the services. Okay, but whatever it is, guys, you will get an IP address like this, like IP address, subnet mask, lease duration, lease uptime, default gateway, and DHCP server address. And DHCP enable yes means you are getting a DHCP server address, means you got IP address from DHCP. You see it is showing enable yes, and you are also showing DHCP server address and also lease duration, means you got a IP address from a DHCP server. That's it. Okay, that is important. So if you see here it is, so DHCP enable yes, it means you should get IP from DHCP server. But can you see any DHCP server address or lease duration? Nothing is there. And it is showing APIPA address, means it is failed to get a IP address from DHCP server. Just for show only. Yeah, that's enough. That is a DHCP client. You select a obtain IP address automatically. It means you become a DHCP client. If you select use the following IP address, means you are not a DHCP client. You enter IP address manually. So you are not a DHCP client. Okay, guys. Now we'll go back to these points. Here it is. You have a DHCP server. In the DHCP server, you have a scope, means I told in DHCP server, whenever the client is request for an IP address and give these IP addresses, and then I define in a range. Like, ticket numbers are there, 10, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, right? Like numbers. It is also range, like it start with a 10, end with a 110. So maximum 100 IP addresses you can distribute from your DHCP server. DHCP server IP is 192.168.1.1. Okay, that is a DHCP server IP. And in the same network only, my IP address is there, 192.168.1.10 to 192.168.1.110. That is my total scope. What is the scope? It is like a range from starting to ending range. So we can give a IP address to the clients. Okay. So there is a APC. First APC came and asked, I want an IP address. And DHCP server given 192.168.1.10 to APC. And CPC is a manually configured. 1.11 is already configured. So DPC got a 1.12, BPC got a 1.13. Yeah, tell me. Nothing. Okay. So once DHCP server given an IP address to a PC, so it is showing IP address, subnet mask, their default gateway, DHCP server address, DNS server address, and the lease duration. 1 second, guys. Okay. Okay, second. Yes, sorry. Where are we? So once you got an IP address, it shows IP address, subnet mask, default gateway, DHCP server address, and DNS server address. What is your DHCP server address? Of course, your DHCP and server IP address only you are getting. Lease duration means lease obtained, lease expiry, both it will shows. Already we have seen that one. That's why I'm telling directly. And IP address can be given to A, B, D, but not C. Why? Because it is manually configured. Means manually configured means it's not a DHCP client. Okay. So who can be a DHCP server? Windows servers are there, Linux servers, Unix servers. And in our home, who is our DHCP server? Generally, our Wi-Fi router act like a DHCP server. Wi-Fi router act like a DHCP server. Okay, guys. I guess understand. Okay, there is a first point is here. Understand what is DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, port number 6768. DHCP server assign an IP address to the client, or it configure the IP address to the clients. 1 second. Okay, guys, here it is. Look at this. Okay, manual and automatic type of assigning IP addresses. We say assign an IP address manually or automatically. Manually means, so already I showed how to assign manually. Okay, the option use following IP address we have to select, and we give an IP address. Think like you have a more devices, like not only one PC, you have 100 VCs are there. Each PC have to go and give the IP address. It is very difficult. Second, while typing an IP address from one system to another system, like you have to keep typing, so it may be possible that you have typed wrongly passwords, or maybe a conflict. Maybe you are assign a same IP address to more than two PCs, means more than one PC you are assign an IP address, same IP address. It is a conflict. So, and not everyone, means generally in a home users, like if people don't know how to assign an IP address, okay, and we cannot assign, or it's very difficult to assign an IP address to the devices nowadays we are using, like a mobile phones, tablets, printers, smart TVs, small LEDs, smart plugs. These are all difficult to assign an IP address. Next one is automatic. What is automatic? Dynamic IP address. DHCP server assign IP address to the client. IP addresses. Okay, so here it is. Dynamic means you got an IP address automatically. So you are not assigning IP address. The server is assigning IP address to your PC. So whenever you change the network, automatically IP address will be changes. Not only that one, guys, same network. Maybe today, same network, today morning I got a one kind of IP address. Tomorrow, same network, I will get different IP address. Possibility. Every day I may get a same IP, or maybe so every other time I will get a different IP address. Okay, whenever I disconnect and connect it back, I may get a different IP. Okay, I may get a different IP address. Okay, it is depends upon the configuration and all. So DHCP server assign an IP address to the clients, right? So that is called a dynamic IP. These IP addresses can be changeable based on the network and lease duration and other conditions. When we change the network, IP addresses automatically changes. Okay, there is a very less possibility of entering wrong IP addresses, kind of stuff. When it is a possibility, less possibility or no of entering a wrong IP addresses, kind of stuff, conflicts will be avoided. So conflict will be resolved. Not required to know everyone, not required to know how to assign an IP address, because you are getting IP address automatically. It is very easy to assign an IP address. It's okay. So for our other devices also we can get an IP address from DHCP server. In our home, our DHCP server is our router or Wi-Fi router. Okay, so guys, understand up to this point. Now only speaking again yesterday, today. Morning batch also happened same thing. Generally, batch people are very increased batch. 1 second again. I'm getting disturbances and okay, so it is fund of news. Okay. I don't know if people understand or not, but because already I told this DHCP topic in both networking and as well as IP address kind of stuff. So only one part I didn't told before, that is this part only. So I will tell this part only. These two are same only. So I will tell. But guys, we already I told DHCP server give you IP address, right? This is a DHCP server and this is the client PC. So the client is getting an IP address from DHCP server. But actually no, as I said, server and client. Server provide a service, client access the service. And I said second point is original point, that is client send a request to the server, server send a response to the client. That is the correct point, guys. Server never give anything to the client. Client asks for server, then only server will give. Okay. So here it is a DHCP server, sorry, DHCP client, and this is the server. The client don't have any IP address. Client do not have any IP address. So what it will do, it broadcast a packet to everyone. Actually, it is broadcast a packet to everyone connected in the network. It is asked, are you DHCP server? Are you DHCP server? Are you DHCP? How it is asked? By distributing a packet called a discover. It send a DHCP discovery packet. So by asking, are you DHCP server? Are you DHCP server? Are you DHCP? When our DHCP server receive the packet, in the network we have a DHCP server, right? When DHCP server received a packet, so DHCP server reply to our client PC. Reply to our client PC like I am a DHCP server. I have an IP address. Do you want it? Okay, so DHCP server will tell I have a pool of IP addresses and take one of the IP address from the pool. So here it is. This is the pool of IP address 192.168.1.10 to 192.168.1.110. These are the pool of 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 is a pool of IP addresses. So which IP address is available and your DHCP server asks your client, I have this IP address. Do you want it? Okay. Next, DHCP server, sorry, DHCP client. So the client asks, yes, I want this IP address. It means it send a request. I want this IP address. You have an IP address, sir. Okay. Client send a request to the server. Yes, I want this IP address. And finally, server will give acknowledgement, means configuration of IP address, subnet mask, default gateway, DHCP server address, DNS server address, and one more is the lease duration, means lease uptime and lease expiry is configured to your DHCP client. It is configured to your DHCP client. Your IP address, subnet mask, default gateway, DHCP server address, and DNS server address is configured to your client PC, including lease uptime and lease expiry. Of course, DHCP server also note down which PC it is, what is the PC name, for example, APC. So APC is MAC address, APC MAC address. So APC MAC address, and what IP address is given to this APC, and when it is given, when it is expiry. It is not down in the window DHCP server. Okay, this information will be noted down in the DHCP server. Okay, so we'll keep it that information aside, but look at this, guys. Discover, offer, request, acknowledgement. Who is going to discover? Client discover the server. Client send a discover packet to everyone connected in the network. So it is by sending. So it's this client want to discover where is a DHCP server by sending discover packet. Once DHCP server receives it, send a offer packet. So in that offer packet, it is like I have an IP address. I have this IP address. Do you want it? Kind of stuff. Okay. It is offers the IP address to DHCP client. The client requests to the server. So yes, I want this IP address. Then server send an acknowledgement with the configuration of IP address. So the first one is discover, next one is offer, next one is request, and then it is a acknowledgement. Okay, so DORA called a Dora process. Okay, so this is also called as a DHCP process. Normally in DHCP, how client is getting an IP address from DHCP server is called a DHCP process. So this DHCP process also called as Dora process. Okay. What is Dora process? Dora discover, offer, request, acknowledgement. Client discover the server. Server offer IP address to the client. Client request the IP address to the server. Server send an acknowledgement and configure the IP address to the client. And configures the client. It is enough. Okay, guys, this is the Dora process. Discover, offer, request, acknowledgement. Okay. So this is about your DHCP server. Only one point is there. So that is a APIPA address. What is this APIPA address and other? So there is a one troubleshooting for a two type of columns with the same type of column, of course, but two different columns. One is APIPA, automatic private IP addresses. Already I told this about this one. Guys, you are trying to get an IP address from your client PC. No one is speaking at all. I am also speaking my app or anything, nothing. Okay, I try to get an IP address from DHCP server. Problem is either your server is down, your server is not working, or DHCP service not working, or your PC is blocked. So in a DHCP server, I said do not give any IP address to C1 based on a MAC address. Possibility is there. Maybe your DHCP server is network-wise disconnected. Maybe your DHCP server is network-wise disconnected. Guys, any maybes are there. So your server is maybe down. Maybe DHCP server service is down. Okay, or maybe your client is blocked. Okay, so it does not allow give an IP address to this particular client. That kind of any restrictions you are created. Next one is your scope. Scope is there now, like a 10 to 100 computers, 10 to 200 computers, like that. Okay, 100 IP addresses, 200 IP addresses, 1000 IP addresses. Okay, depends upon your scope, how much bigger scope you are having. Okay, so depends upon your scope, right? The scope is completed. Possibility, the scope is completed. You cannot able to give an IP address. So any kind of situation, issue is you are unable to get an IP address from DHCP server. You are unable to get a IP address from DHCP server, and the system assign an IP address to itself. System assigns an IP address to itself from the APIPA range. What is the APIPA range? 169.254.0.0 to 169.254.255.255. Guys, when you see an IP address, when you see an IP address, and the IP address is, look, if you see an IP address, the DHCP enabled yes, and next one is auto configuration IPv4 169.254. That's enough to say this is the APIPA address, and you are unable to get IP address from DHCP server. Okay, you are unable to get a DHCP server. So find out what is the problem. Find out where is the problem. Is your DHCP server is down? Is a problem with your DHCP server? Or your no DHCP server is there? Or DHCP service related problem? Kindly better to restart your DHCP services. Your scope is completed, try to increase your scope. You are not allowed to access, then try to unblock your MAC address, so then we can get an IP address. If you are disconnected from the network, it is possible that, so better to try to connect it back. Okay, so first of all, find why you are not getting an IP address from DHCP server. So troubleshoot the server related things. Once make sure that your DHCP server is working. Make sure that your DHCP server is working and giving an IP addresses. Okay, and if in case still your PC is showing a APIPA address, even though DHCP server is providing a proper services, like it is all right with the DHCP service server, but still you are getting APIPA address. What is the solution? Okay, so here it is better to disable enable your adapter. Okay, there is a disable. Once you disable, then it is look like this one. Then enable adapter. Enable the adapter, so then it shows like a normal regular blue color like this. Disable enable the adapter, or you can go to command line. So then put a ipconfig space / release and ipconfig space / renew. Okay, release means it release the old IP, old configured IP address. Renew means it will try to get a new IP. Guys, whenever the network is changed, I will tell one easy example to understand why we need these two kind of stuff. Few before Corona time only, so we have a problem with internet. So students having a student desktop, front office, and all connected to the internet via wide connections, because direct desktop computer setup. Okay. So we have a two routers. So initially one router only, later one more is came. Two internet connections. Two router means two internet connections. This is one connection. This is another connection. So usually we use a U broadband connection. U broadband connection it is. You are connected. Everybody is getting an IP address from this router only. Everybody is getting IP address from this router only. Through these switches, we are connected and we got IP address from this particular router only. Everything is working fine. Suddenly, this router is disconnected from internet. We got some internet problem. This is router not receiving any internet kind of stuff, some internet related problem. So we need a network for a certain part classes and all, some certain things, certain work kind of stuff you can say. So what we done? So we disconnect this wire. I connect another wire from this router. From this router, I connect another wire. This is the Airtel router. Both IP addresses are different. This kind of IP address scheme is different. That IP address is different. So this IP address is different. Like this is 192.168. Something 1.10 kind of stuff. Like a one. So forget about this. So 192.168.1.1, anything afterwards. This is the network. In this one, it is not like this. So 192.168.0 network. Both are different logical networks. You are already seen IP address. Both are logically different networks. So obviously, these PCs are initially configured with this network from this router. Now, this router IP address is different. You have to communicate with this router for internet purpose. They can't communicate because this IP address, this type of IP address is configured. So what to do? So you have to do IP config release or renew, or you have to disable enable the adapter or release and renew. So then it removes the old IP, that is 192.168.0. something will be removed from your adapter and try to get a new IP address from other router. So it may give you some confusion, guys. So the second scenario I told, if you change the network, but still it is showing old IP address. So what to do? Simple IP config release and renew it, remove the old IP and get the new IP address from DHCP server. So this is about your DHCP, total DHCP. Dynamic host configuration. Guys, for interview question, only few points only I will tell. Okay, so few points means only two parts I will tell. So in the first part, what is DHCP or what is DHCP server? DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, port number 6768. DHCP server assign an IP address to the clients automatically. To assign an IP address, we can assign an IP address to the devices manually and automatically. Okay, so through DHCP server, we can assign an IP address to the devices automatically. So using a DHCP server, you no need to learn how to assign an IP address to the devices, and it is difficult to assign an IP address for a different type of devices and a large number of devices. But using a DHCP server, it is very easy to assign an IP address. Everybody not required to know how to assign an IP address. So DHCP server provide an IP address to the clients. It assign an IP address to the client. Okay, so that is enough. If you want, you can add like in our home, we have a Wi-Fi router. The Wi-Fi router act like a DHCP server. Wi-Fi router act like a DHCP server in our home. Next, I said two questions, right? One is what is DHCP? Next one is what is DHCP process, or how DHCP assign an IP address to the client, or what is Dora process? So three questions, same answer. What is DHCP process? How DHCP server assign an IP address to the client, or what is Dora process? So answer is Dora. Discover what is Dora. So Dora. So tell them like so DHCP use Dora process. Okay, DHCP assign an IP address to the client using Dora process. What is Dora process? So Dora, discover, offer, request, acknowledgement. Neatly here, guys. What is Dora? Discover, offer, request, acknowledgement. Client discovers the server. Server offer an IP address to the client. Client request for an IP address to the server. Server send an acknowledgement to configure IP address, subnet mask, default gateway, DHCP server address, DNS server address, and a lease obtain and lease expiry to the client. If you don't remember those many words, you can't able to tell at the time of interview. You can tell very soon. So it will DHCP server send an acknowledgement to configure IP address to the client. That's it. How do you know you got IP address from DHCP server? Means DHCP enable yes. It is showing in our adapter details kind of stuff. Adapter details where we can see DHCP enable. Yeah, yes means you got a IP address from DHCP server. To get an IP address from DHCP server in adapter, so right click on adapter properties, IP IPv4 properties, obtain IP address automatically means you want a IP address from DHCP server. You want to configure manually, so use following IP address for a configuring IP address manually. What is APIPA? Automatic Private IP Address. So it is 169.254 is there. Okay. And the next one is, okay, it is IPIPA address. What is IPIPA? Why we are getting IPIPA? When system is unable to get IP address from DHCP server, system assign an IP address itself from IPIPA range. Okay. So if whenever you see an IP address of your adapter, so DHCP enable yes, and IP address is showing auto configured IPv4 address 169.254 something, it means you got APIPA, means you are unable to get IP address from DHCP server. Find out why you are unable to get a DHCP from DHCP server. Do the troubleshooting things and try to get a IP address. And IP config release and renew is very helpful commands to remove your old IP address which is unable to change according to the network or change, unable to get a new IP address from DHCP server. So use IP config release to remove old IP and renew for get a new IP from DHCP server. These commands only work on the adapter which is DHCP enabled only, not manual configured. Okay, guys. Any doubts or anything?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So we'll go to DNS after short break. Okay, take a 10 minutes of break,
Okay.
and we'll go to DNS. So because DNS is also a very good topic, very small lines only. These particular lines only there. Okay, of course, small explanation is there. There is a explanation. Even explanation is important or not, that is different, but at least to try to understand what is DNS is important. Okay, so take a 5-10 minutes of break. Yeah, tell me.
No, sir.
Okay, so come back by 5:15, 10 minutes. Okay, we'll start.